Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about what I like and dislike about Battle for Neighborville, and when are we going to see more of it on this channel, because obviously it's been around a month since we've seen any of it. So, let's get to talking about it. On to number 1. Let's start off with sprinting. Now obviously I don't think sprinting is a bad mechanic, I think just the way that it's used is bad. You see, the fact that people constantly run away from fights is starting to really get annoying. Like, you can't get into a fight with someone without them at least trying to run away. And if they're brave enough to be at low HP and still fight you, it's great, honestly. And honestly, even here, you'll see me running away. And that's because it's just such a good mechanic in the game to the point where you kinda have to abuse it. Of course, it's annoying, and I know when I do it, I'm annoying, but it's like... it's just such a bad mechanic in the game. It needs to be nerfed. Anyway, on to number 2. Number 2, legendary upgrades. Let's all be honest with each other, most of the legendary upgrades are broken. The only one that I could really say is balanced is legendary Shogun Guard, I think is what it's called. And that's mainly because it's received a bunch of nerfs. Like, Brainium Basher 9001 right now is one of the more broken ones. Like, actually. Most plants get one-shotted by it to begin with, which is already just more than enough. You can see in the background gameplay right here, I killed someone using it, but that's whatever. So, why? I mean, legendary upgrades, they're just so broken. They're just... most of them aren't even fair. Although now that the Steam Master has received some nerfs, I think that one's become a little more fair now. But other than that, the rest are really kind of broken. I mean, Torn Apart is more broken if you have all like 3, 4, or 5 of them. Not really if you only have 1 or 2 of them. But the rest are just, they're just so broken. I just don't like them. They feel kind of unfair, if you catch my drift. But yeah, that's really all for number 2. Now on to number 3. Alright, on to number 3. Let's talk about the server AIs. Now, on paper, the idea of adding AIs into a server that isn't full to replace players is a really, really good idea. Like, if it was executed well, it would also be a really good idea. But it wasn't executed very well. The AIs are literally aimbot. Like, they have aimbot. You can't sneak up on these guys, you can't walk behind them, you just can't catch them by surprise. These guys have aimbot, they have wall hacks, sometimes, and you get absolutely lasered by these guys. Not to mention that when they're mid-ability, they can do other abilities. Like, they fixed this recently, but a Nightcap who was in Shadow Sneak could do, like, Fung Fu. It was so broken, honestly. But they're starting to fix up the AIs. I just really hope that eventually they're more balanced. Because as of right now, the AIs are just so broken in-game. Like, you can't go into a Team Vanquish match or a Turf Takeover match and have fun without it being full. But the AIs, they're just not all that fun to play against, honestly. As I already said, aimbot, wall hacks, you get that point. On to number 4. Number 4. We need new content, okay? Like, obviously, we've gotten more cosmetics than we have actual new content, which is really disappointing in my opinion. Like, of course, some would argue that, you know, news cosmetics are, well, content, but they really aren't. They're just cosmetics. Obviously, we've gotten new maps, new characters, but we just haven't gotten enough of it. And obviously, legendary upgrades are refreshing, but they're broken. Go back to point number 2 if you want to know more. But we need more content. We're running out. And if this game is to keep running the way it is, it's gonna die soon, honestly. And obviously, because of, stinky, pans, you know, the workers are working from home and they can't, you know, work on the game as much. But, you know, obviously that's an excuse, but it's just not a good enough one to be supplying us monthly updates. So, I just don't know. But, yeah, that's all for number 4. Now, on to the things I do like about the game. Now, number 1 for the things I do like. Definitely private play. Now that they've added private play, you don't have to deal with a lot of the annoying playstyles that the real players use. You can just go into private play, pick whatever you want, even add crazy settings if you really want to, and then just mess around with a bunch of different AI and do whatever you want. Honestly, as I've already said earlier, the AI aren't very well made, obviously. They don't really get onto points during overtime, and they aren't very good at, well, grouping up when they need to. But other than that, it's a really fun game mode, and I'm really glad they added it. Better late than never, as they say, because it came out with Garden Warfare 2 at launch, but whatever. So yeah, on to number 2 of the things I like. Alright, on to number 2, Turf Takeover. Now, Turf Takeover in this game is the most fun it's really ever been. I mean, Turf Takeover is way more enjoyable in this game than any of the others. Garden Warfare 1, it was literally just the plants defending. Garden Warfare 2, there was a little too much herbal assault, but in this game, it feels really well balanced and a lot of fun. And it's really chaotic, which makes it just a tiny bit more fun. But anyway, on to number 3. Yeah. Now last, but certainly not least, even though I don't think it's a good substitute for character variants, you've heard it all before, upgrades. Or as some people like to call them, upgrade points, but whatever. These things are, well, either really bad or really good. Or just right in the middle. But honestly, these things, obviously, as I already said, aren't a very good, replacement for variants. But I do feel that they were a good idea. Not executed very well, but, good idea. Yeah. I mean, that's it for really upgrade points. There's not much to talk about when it comes to them. After all, there's 20 different characters in this game? There's no point in covering them all. But yeah, that's it for upgrade points. And that's all the reasons why I like and dislike BFN. Obviously, the game is nowhere near perfect, but we kinda have too high of expectations for it, considering it was developed by a completely different development team. But that's beside the point. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching my dumb opinion video, and I will see you all next time. Stay frosty.